We have a number of distinguished guests here today, one of whom is the namesake for this house, Joy Kogawa. Yay! So pleased to have you here in the house that where you were a child and that you left at age 6. Your son Gordon is here from Chiang Mai, traveling with you for the launch of this book, I understand. We also have our former Member of Parliament, Ujjal Dosanjh, and Raminder Dosanjh, who spoke out for our project. We have our poet laureate, Fiona Tinwei, who is going to say a few words of introduction, but not quite yet. And
Great American poet Mary Oliver famously wrote that attention is the beginning of devotion. And it's very fitting that we are gathered here today to celebrate 56 years of poetry authored by Joy Kogawa, a writer whose multiple works in many genres are manifestations of both scrupulous attention and profound devotion to literary craft. There are members of the public who, although they might be very familiar with her acclaimed and beloved landmark novel, Obasan, may not know that her first 4 published books were of poetry, and that she continued to write in that genre after Obasan's publication. Her first book of poetry, The Splintered Moon, was published in 1967, followed by A Choice of Dreams in 1974, Jericho Road in 1977, and 6 Poems in 1980, before the 1981 publication of her semi-autobiographical novel Obasan, based on her family's forced relocation from Vancouver during World War II when she was 6 years old. The novel won the Books in Canada First Novel Award and has been named as one of the most important books in Canadian history by the Literary Review of Canada. Obasan, pretty big, yes. Obasan was later adapted into a children's book, Naomi's Road, in 1986, which Vancouver Opera adapted into a 45-minute opera that toured elementary schools throughout British Columbia and was performed in Greater Vancouver, Red Deer, Lethbridge, Seattle, and Ottawa, as well as in a revival performance in Toronto. After the 1981 publication of Obasan, there followed more books, 3 more books of poetry, 2 more novels, 2 books of nonfiction, and another children's book, the picture book, Naomi's Tree. And there's even more. Just a few years ago, before the pandemic, Joy Kogawa wrote the narrative for the augmented reality game East of the Rockies, produced by the National Film Board. It was released in 2019 and won the Canadian Screen Award for Best Video Game Narrative in 2020. Pretty amazing. So among her many, many honors, Joy Kogawa has received the Order of Canada in 1986, the Order of British Columbia in 2006, and from the Japanese government, Order of the Rising Sun in 2010 for her contribution to the understanding and preservation of Japanese Canadian history. But back to poetry, because that's what we're here to celebrate today. A wonderful collection of poems written over half a century by a devoted poet. And acclaimed award-winning poet Michael Pryor writes, "Through the forests of history, the fog of memory, the floating faith of a dream, Joy Kogawa's poems seek and achieve deep clarity and grace. Whether recollecting wartime dispossession and displacement, travels through Japan, or the loss of loved ones, Kogawa's lucid lines evince tender, sensuous attention to the cracks in the curtains of the universe. Those moments when the ephemeral and the eternal converge." So on that note, please join me in welcoming Joy to read from her new collection, The Lost and Found Department.
It feels like right now, like I'm gonna cry. I'm so filled up. I would just want to say thank you. Really, I don't know how this has happened. Everything that feels like, there's this house where I was a baby. How lucky can you get that it lives and that people work here and it's known? So I'm so grateful. Anyway.
And everyone.
And all of you for having come. I consider you my dear friends. Frankly, I'm saying thank you to God, because how does love happen like this? How can one be so blessed? How does that happen? I mean, life was not an easy ride. There was a lot of hard stuff that I don't even want to talk about. But to come, to be loved, to be accepted, to be honored, I don't know anybody more lucky than I am. I really don't. And this is my beloved son. Would have been able to go traveling in Japan and elsewhere without him. And so I'm lucky about that. I'm lucky. How can I be so lucky? And the kind of memory that comes forth and stays, I feel like this moment will stay right through to the end and beyond. Whatever the beyond is, and I think there's much beyond what we little animals are and what we are a part of. And what I trust is what's here right now, which is love. I trust that. And I'm thankful we're all part of that. We're all connected by that, by the love that's in the universe, not just here, not just with our friends, not just with our families, but undergirds everything. That's what I trust. And we have been blessed to have a taste of it. It's here right now. And will be with us forever, I think, I believe. I also believe in the uniqueness of each of us. I believe in our personalities, the differences, all the experiences that we have had individually. Everybody is a universe. And I think all of that, the uniqueness will endure. I also believe that. Some people think that at death, it's over. It's everything. I can't imagine that. It's like all the things that have gone into our having become who we are. I don't think that's going to disappear. I think it's with us, and that will be our uniqueness. Each of us with our uniqueness. So I'm glad for all of that, and I'm glad for this powerful moment. So I want to say thank you to God. Thank you to whatever is the source of all that wonderful love, which is everything, I think. There's a poem I do like, which I read whenever it was, Because He Loves the Cello. But I don't have to read that. I'll just go bing. Sure. Life is so much chance, Bing. Oh, I can't even remember this one. It's, centipedes. Centipedes have lots and lots of them. This one is called Being Limbless. What if you are? What are we, snakes if we're limbless? I don't know what we are. The matter of having no arms and legs. I don't remember writing this. The matter of having no arms and legs? You feel it is unfair, and besides which, the whining offends sensitive ears. And so you sit there on the corner with your long sleeves and long pants dragging on the sidewalk, while the ladies and gents prance past and stuff pennies in your mumbling mouth. And so what? And so what? it's just a matter of having no arms and no legs, and anyway, you end up saying, who wants to be a centipede? This one right beside it says it wouldn't be so bad if I were a brown cow on the prairie by a water hole, lying on thistles under the sun, never having lain on a double mattress in an air-conditioned apartment. If I were, I say, a brown cow, placidly swishing flies off my rum, and if you were a crow on a telephone post, having chosen of all the miles of posts that particular one without days of indecision, and you were to flap away when the truck came roaring down the highway. That's the end of that. Like a bing. Bing. I don't remember this one. It's just a
I'm gonna do that next.
Anyway, this one is called the red balloon. You're wearing red. You're wearing red. You are too. The red balloon. People stopped looking for signs in 1910, he said, when she mentioned the red dress in the movie, the green coat, the enduring red moment of the puppets, the happiness red down through generations, and the green go jacket the child wore, green for erasure, according to the filmmaker. Maybe they didn't even think about the colors when they were making the movie. I'm wearing yellow, and look, the light just changed to yellow, he chuckled as they came to the Davisville subway station. Between stop and go, between erasure and endurance, did you see the way the people in the street didn't even notice the red balloon? This one is called Walking with Stuart. Stuart is a friend of mine in Toronto. So it's called Walking with Stuart. He lives along the Humber River. Along the Humber, water over stone. Somalia, Armenia, a cemetery, brown and black category, charming and courteous garden beneath Eglinton Avenue Bridge. Many dandelions with heads as white as ours in the shady woods on the first gentle day of June. Leaves of late autumn. Leaves of late autumn, that's now. Receive them as sunlight, rainlight, intended smiles in passing, not smirks, not scorn, not mockery. So received, perhaps, by wind-blown soil. I just turned my finger to this one. This is something my dad said. I don't know how many people know about my dad, but anyway, my brother, who scorned him so much, who used to, was really, really tough on my dad. And this is what my dad said. A parent's love is deep, my father said. Oya no ai wa fukai. That's Japanese for a parent's love is deep. As his son derided and abandoned him privately, publicly, whom once he had adored. Whatever horrors my Oya did, our triumph is derision is not forever. In marble, right? That's here. Full-throated, white. Do you know about white cherry blossoms, by the way? There's a difference between the white and the pink. There's made pink there. But it's only the white ones that bear fruit.
Mhm.
The
Uh-huh.
pink ones are all
The pink ones are the decorative ones.
full-throated white cherry blossoming in the lane. Mama's pure soprano. In the land of mercy, in the land of the second chance. This house has had a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
It was here, I lived here, I loved it, then we were sent away, and it was lost, and I mourned it, I dreamed about it, I wanted it. How lucky can a person get? And we're all here, and love is here, and the house is alive, and the wonderful Anne-Marie is making sure that it lives.
Mm.
Now I get the title, The Lost and
In the land
Found.
of the second
Exactly,
chance.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's something deeper to that second chance as well.
So, yeah, how can I be so lucky? How can I be so happy? How can this be happening? It's just so wonderful. I'm,
Thank you.
I don't know, you want some more? Or what?
Which is the cellist poem
Another one?
that you.
27.
27.
Oh, you
27.
Page 27.
Because he loves the cello is 27. Now you're talking. I got what I wanted. All I wanted was
Cello? Okay, this is on page 27. This is for a friend of mine who loves the cello. Because he loves the cello. Because he loves the cello, its bow low, over the abdomen of the soul, thick and swarming with all that is sordid and soaring. And therefore, although he is in flight from the weeping in the streets of the city, still I trust him because he loves the cello. Because somewhere in the morning's light, the cellist weeps in the streets of the city, dissolving walls with their bows, deep utterances. And he who loves the cello will pause. Hello, grass. That's on the opposite side. In Toronto, flat pavement and concrete land. Hello, larger trees disconnected. All life is grass, Caesar, and long life is full metal life-size cows here in perfect milklessness. That's what there is in Toronto. But hello, wet green blade.
Thank
Shall we
you.
just talk?
Have a
conversation.
Questions or?
Question. Why did you call it From the Lost and Found Apartment?
I wonder why.
What was lost and what was found?
Yeah. I wonder why I did that. I don't know anymore. I feel like a lost and found department myself. Like I feel like I'm at the stage I'm 88 and my mind is gone. I'm sort of. I mean, I can still talk, but I have no memory. My memory loss is really bad. So I can do something and I've forgotten, which is I'm kind of lost. But where I can be found is here, wherever love is, where love says, okay, so you're kind of lost, but we're tethering you. Where's that? I've got it here.
Good.
This is a present.
Heidi.
Heidi.
Oh, bought her a tethering string.
That's great.
Is it a coat?
This is something you need. This, right?
Yep.
Right.
Oh.
Now, this is a present from Heidi. And it's what we all need. It's because we are all kites. And we're all floating unless we're tethered. Unless somebody's holding our kite string. So that's why I have That's great.
Perfect, Heidi.
I'm just wondering what to do with it in Toronto. I think I'll just set it down like that, and people will say, "Oh, what's that?" And I say, "This is string. What have you got string sitting there for? It's to keep me tethered. I'm a kite. Without it, I would be floating around. I need to be tethered." Of course, what it is that tethers us to each other is the love that is real. It's even more real than this string. And that's what tethers us to each other, to the earth, to history, and to the source of love. If there is a source of love, there must be a source of love. How is love? How did it, what is it that happens when a mother has a baby and she clings to it? What is that? That's love. It's right there in the animals, in the turtles.
Just remember, because that really is a kite string with holes in either end that you'd either put a stick through or
Okay.
some such thing. It goes back and forth. It loosens. It lets the kite fly, or it helps it bring it back, or it helps it catch the wind.
And when the kite starts to fall, you gotta run with it.
You got it.
And catch the wind. Anyway, this is gonna sit here, and people in my apartment, and people say, "What's that?" And I say, "That's kite strings." And what are the kite strings I'm there for? And then I'll tell them.
That's my job, running after these.
What's your next project?
Project?
The kite project?
I
Projecting into
can
the
say that this
space or
is my last hurrah, that that's it for the writing. But, I have a diary, and I keep going in that. And at this stage of life, at 88, what do you look forward to, And the love that sustains us. My project is not to forget that. It's to know how real it is. I wrote something about forgiveness, which is coming out in the Anglican Journal.
Right?
And there was something else I wrote, some kind of essay type of thing.
Yeah.
I thought maybe if I had 4 or 5 of those, but I've only got 2 or something.
Well, that means 3 more to come.
Yeah.
Didn't you talk about working on a children's book recently?
What'd you say?
Well,
Are you working on a children's
a
book?
children's book that you have in mind. About an ant,
started something.
A-N-T. I think it was about an ant, A-N-T, not A-U-N.
And A-N-T,
Yeah.
yeah. I started something called Becky's Ant. I don't know why.
Or maybe it's a play on words. Maybe it's a play on words.
Well, it's actually, I think, about, amongst humans, there are very special humans, really extraordinary humans. So I figure that among the species around us, there are also extraordinary them. So I figured there's an extraordinary ant somewhere out there. And this girl, Becky, meets an extraordinary ant. And so there is a relationship. This ant is able to sense humans, just like humans sometimes, who are called mystics, have a sense of love. So I think every species has got something extraordinary and special within it. And so although the ants look all the same and we will trample them and we forget about them, we don't think they're important, they're just as important as we are as far as, I think, as far as if there is a creator. And I imagine, I don't know what it is. I don't know how it is we have all evolved to become who we are. But I think that there is extraordinariness within each of us. Something is extraordinary. So Becky has this extraordinary ant because she can see its feelers flickering like this going, and so she thinks, oh, what is that ant telling me? And so Becky has this relationship with this ant. I don't know where it's going, Except that one day when she's staring at it, she sees that it's wearing blue trousers. So I have no idea where they're going.
You've got to get that out. That's amazing. And I also noticed many of your poems are connected to the earth, and then the earth to the cosmos. But a lot of them are grounded in nature and the minuscule
See, I
creatures,
can't
and
hear.
then
Yes.
just that a lot of your recent poems too are grounded in nature, in planet Earth, but also connected to the cosmos rather than.
Yeah. So that's the same for you too.
Yeah.
I mean, poets have that.
Mhm.
Can I ask one last question, Joy? Because probably I'm not going to talk to you in a long time. So I think at one of the writers' workshops, your advice to the writers was if you see a burning forest, you run into it. That's what you told us. And I'm just wondering, now that you're 88, Beiju, like, you know, you're free, you've reached this point of sage wisdom. So what are you running into now?
Whatever comes. You know, Dag Hammarskjöld said, for all that has been, thanks. For all that will be, yes. So whatever is real, whatever that is, whatever it is, you know, that to me is like going to the safe place where the ash has burned and the fire is calmed down by then. So I do think we need to go to the place we're most afraid of, and we need to dive in to the thing we want hidden. And when we go there, we come to freedom. If we want freedom, I've always wanted freedom.
Agreed. Wow. Yeah, that's great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.